Welcome back to the Dave Decay Show. Tonight, I got something very special for you. A good friend of mine cosplayed for the very first time. If you don't know what cosplaying is, I'll explain it to you. It's when somebody takes a character they really like from, say, a movie or a book or a comic, it doesn't matter. And then they dress up as this character. It's sort of like a Halloween costume, but taken to the extreme. They become this character. A good friend of mine decided to go to a convention as Jason Voorhees. Great choice, right? So now I'll go ahead and shut up and let him show you how he created his entire Jason costume. All right, thanks, Dave Decay. So this is going to be my very first cosplay. So my first thing was I needed a Jason hood, which means I wanted a full pullover hood that has the neck piece and, goes down past the collar. Somehow I stumbled upon this website called Devil's Latex, and I will put the link in the description box below. But this website that I found, the Devil's Latex, was exactly what I was looking for. What I wanted was a full pullover head, like I said, mask, but I wanted the face cut out. So when you put the hockey mask over the face, your face is still, you can still talk and you can still be able to breathe, so you're not having a full face mask on, basically. So I contacted the Devil's Latex website, and somebody wrote me back named Lindsay Armstrong, and she could not have been more nicer to me. I mean, every question I had, she answered. No matter how stupid or complex these questions I had were, she answered every single one and was just crazy super nice. And I also measured my head length around because I got a gigantic head, and the size of the mask is exactly the size of my head, so it's going to fit like skin tight. So I decided not to order a pre-made Jason mask, even though they look great on there. So I went to this other website called Fright Stuff. It's at frightstuff.com. It's in the description box below if you want to check that out. So now I went back to Fright Stuff, and I decided to order just a plain, nothing on it, Jason mask. I don't even know what color it is. I don't know if it's white or if it's clear. I know it's just a plain Jason mask, but it was supposed to come with the chevrons and it's supposed to come with the strap. So today I finally got my Friday the 13th mask, and I have not opened it up yet. I'm going to do it live on air here so you guys can see me opening it up. And I've been waiting all day to open this thing up. So let's go ahead and tear into this thing so I can finally see what my Jason mask is going to look like. It's almost open. The Jason mask from Friday the 13th Part 4. It's very exciting. And it has the certificate number right there. Hockey mask blank. So really cool. The chevrons for the mask. Here are all the straps and snaps and everything that we'll need for it. It's really, really nice. Actually, just a plain white mask. I'm glad it's, the color it is, even though I'm going to spray paint it. But wow, yeah, that's really cool. Inside, the mask is almost like textured, and it's signed by the person who did it. It's just awesome. Now, it's going to be my job to make this thing look like Friday the 13th Part 4. Yesterday, I received the Jason mask, and believe it or not, today I received the hood, which really surprised me because I wasn't expecting it. And I haven't opened it as yet because, again, I wanted to open it live for you guys. So, I got the box open, and here we go. Here's the hood. From looking at it from inside the plastic, it looks really good. The one thing I can notice already is I thought I asked the Devil's Latex to split it up the back, and it's not actually split up the back. As you can see, it's pretty much one full sculpt. It's nothing split up the back. They said it was 25 inches around, which is what my head is. Like I said, I got a gigantic head. I really don't even know if I can get my head into this. That is a worry to me right now. The neck looks really, really thin too. I don't know if I can even get my neck in there. But the cut looks great. And the paint job is spectacular right there. I mean, it's a really, really good paint job they got going on. And looks fantastic. But yeah, that really worries me about the cut in the back, and the fact that it looks really, really skinny. Alright, so, I mean, I just want to get on here and make a quick video to show off the hood, and it looks incredible. I just really hope that I can get my head into it. I'm pretty concerned right now that it's not going to fit. So here is day one of painting the Jason mask, and in order to paint it, you first have to rough it up with sandpaper so the paint will actually stick to it. And I'm really afraid of screwing this thing up, so that's why I haven't done it yet. I've been putting it off and putting it off, but my Dragon Con date is getting closer, so I just have to get this done. So here we go. We're gonna rough it up with some sandpaper. Okay, so believe it or not, I have no idea how snaps work because I've never had to put a snap on anything in my life. So apparently you have to go out and buy tools in order to get these to work on this mask if you get a mask without the snaps already attached. So this is the inside of the snap, and it basically just fits through the hole like that. So as you can see, it fits in there like that, and the stem sticks out. Now comes the fun part. This is a tool I had to go to Walmart and buy, and it was like $3 or $4. And actually, I had to get it anyway with a whole thing of snaps. So now I have snaps for everything that I don't really need. And you have to have this, and you have to have this. So I will show you how this works, and hopefully I won't screw it up. What I'm going to do is you basically have to put this inside of that, so it has something to hit on. It's a real pain in the butt. I don't know exactly what I did here. They're a little loose, but they're not sticking out like they were. So, I mean, I can accept that. That's good. Once this thing is painted, you're not gonna really even notice that anyway. So here we go. We're gonna spray it. It's for metal, wood, and plastic. Now once that dries, I'm gonna wipe it as much as I can off on it, and then scratch it up really good, and then go over it once again, and then wipe it off once again. So far, the only thing I'm not happy with the mask is these snaps. I hit them as hard as I could, and as you can see, they're still hanging out. So I'm not sure what to do with that. I'm thinking about probably putting some Gorilla Glue in there, just to make them stick a little easier. So I got myself some sandpaper, as you can see, and this is pretty rough stuff. I don't know what it is. It says the sandpaper is medium on the back, so I'm not sure what that means. So I guess this is medium grade sandpaper. And then I got some really rough stuff too. I mean, this stuff was like just pure on grit. So let's go ahead and start on the scratching and the weathering of the mask. Alright, so don't film me. So I put the scratches all over this, and as you can see, there's some white marks here, and I kind of scratched it off where you can actually see the white underneath the mask. However, if you ever watched Friday the 13th Part 4, you know he has sort of a triangular shaped mark on his nose, so I got to use this Dremel in order to do that. And once I do that, I'm going to tape this off and spray paint the whole thing again, so then I'll be able to peel it off and you'll be able to see the original white underneath it. So I got the second repaint of the almond on here, and I actually forgot to block off the nose, like I said, where it's supposed to be white. So I Dremel that out and put a piece of tape over it. Might be kind of loud because there's a lot of traffic back here. I'm outside right now. But Fright Stuff did send me some chevrons. However, if you look really closely at the movie, they're not stickers, they are actually painted on the mask. So I'm going to stick these on the mask, and then I'm going to mask around them and paint them on. So I got the chevrons on, and right now I'm going to mask them off so I can actually paint them. And now I'm going to peel off the chevrons and actually paint where the chevrons once were. However, one thing that's been bothering me about this mask, and I have to make a decision, was if you watch Friday the 13th Part 4, there is a part towards the end where he doesn't have the bottom chevrons and he only has a half of the top chevron. So the question is, do I want to put all 3 chevrons on here or just half of the top one, which is, a lot of the times it's portrayed that way, which I really don't know why, but it seems like that's sort of the mask to go to on Friday the 13th Part 4 on how to make one. So what I've done now is I've taken the chevrons off after I painted them, and I replaced them with the stickers because I want to get some really deep scratches. So I'm going to go over it with some really heavy sandpaper and then probably spray paint it again almond, and then I will take the stickers off and then mess up the chevrons a little bit, but not too much. I actually think it looks pretty good right now. I don't think it needs another coat of almond. I did some really heavy scratches that you can now see on the camera, and I went ahead and took off the tape for the chevrons and scratched them a little bit. I don't want them overly scratched. The one side here is actually still taped because he only has one side of the chevron on above his eyes, and I wanted to kind of mess up the mask a little bit, make it dirty before I actually took that off. So here's my first attempt at trying to age and dirty the mask. I am not really happy on how it turned out. Alright, so now I've gone out and gotten me some cheap paint. This was like, I don't remember what it was. It was on sale. It was either a buck or two to get all these colors, and one color I really need is yellow, and so that's why I got this. So with the mask almost done, I am now starting on the machete. And basically, this is a cheap Jason plastic machete I got at my local Johnny Brock's, which is a costume shop. I'm gonna go out and get some real leather and wrap it around over the plastic. I got this really shiny Valspar, but I'm not going to keep the blade this shiny. I just wanted a real nice metallic look before I start aging it and rusting it and put blood all over it. The blade turned out a whole lot better than I was expecting. It actually looks like it's made out of metal. I was going to dull it up and make it look old and rusty, but I actually really like this shiny silver. So here is almost my final paint job for this mask. There's a few things I need to fix, especially the nose. I think it's way too outlined, and I need to make it either softer or make the dirt come down farther. And the scratch on his head is a little too long, I found out, and I really don't know if there's a way to fix that, but I'm going to try and see if I can make it a little shorter. So those are the projects for today. You can hear me over these trucks driving by, and I'm really hoping I can get this whole thing done today, because basically that's the only two things I got to fix. And then I'm going to clear coat this whole mask, and then put the blood all over the crack, and then add the straps. So that's today's project, and let's see how much of it I actually get done. So I put the blood on the machete, and it's okay, I guess, but it's not as shiny as I wanted it to be. It's very dull. So I went out and bought some new paint, and this is supposed to be a high gloss, so I'm going to put that on there. And I also bought this stuff for the handle, which kind of became a mess. So I went out and got this grip tape, which is basically for a racket, and I'm going to wrap this around there so it's not just a plastic thing around it. And also I went ahead and put gloss on the Jason mask, because if you watch the movies, the mask is always very glossy. It's not dull at all, and I'm not really sure if I like the gloss on it, but it's on there, so it's stuck on there now. I might add a little bit of dirt here and there on there so it's not as glossy. But right now, what I'm going to do is add blood to the crack finally and just finish off the mask. As you can see, the axe mark is done. And what I did basically was I took some regular paint that I did have and put it on there. Mostly it was just a sponge, as you can see. And then I took the shiny stuff and then put it over there on top of it, really thick. It has like texture to it. And also it has the shine look to it, like fresh blood. So I'm really happy the way that turned out. There might be a little bit too much on there, but you know, I didn't really care. Actually, it was the most fun part of the whole mask to do was this right here. I'm really happy on how it turned out. Just to give you an idea of the whole finished mask, here it is. You can see it. I spent a lot of time on this, weathering it. Somehow it got some blood on its nose, which I can just sand off. I don't know where that came from.
but the rest of it, I'm really happy about it. And it's my first real attempt at painting a Jason mask. And Friday the 13th Part 4 is my favorite of the Friday the 13th series, so I'm just really happy on how it turned out. The original color is this. You can see the inside of it, and I showed it to you before. But that's, if you forgot what it looked like, that's what it originally looked like, the color. And now it looks like this. So here's the hood, and I did have to cut it up the back, which really wasn't too hard to do. As you can see, there is sort of a hole punch that we did so the mask doesn't split, because when you put this thing on, it has to stretch a lot. But the paint did come off because of my hole punch. And I actually did paint that over, and now it just kind of came off again because of putting it on and off and stretching the mask. But it's not too big of a deal, because once you have the shirt on and the collar over it, you don't see any of this. And it fits really tight. But it's not that uncomfortable, to tell you the truth. So finally I found the Jason shirt, and I actually had to order it online because I could not find my size anyplace. So I got it off of Dickies website. So it is a Dickies work shirt basically, and if you know anything about Jason, he has the 2 pockets. And it was really hard to find this in the store, or at least the right color in my size. So I ended up just ordering it off the website, and I believe it's either olive green or forest green. I can't remember which color it is, but it's pretty close to the color that Jason's shirt is. I think I was at Sears when I bought these pants, and they're just your regular everyday sort of like gray dress pants, and I did get these on sale, so I was kind of happy about that. And I think they could be one shade lighter, but this is really all I could find, and they were cheap enough, so I went ahead and bought them. The full finished machete, here it is. Just like the cut on his mask, I did the same thing. I sort of went over it with just my regular paint, and then I used my glossy paint, and then put some darker paint on there too, just to try to make it appear as if it was real blood rather than just red paint. Best thing to do to put this cowl on is put baby powder in there. So it goes on somewhat easier, but it's still pretty difficult to get this thing on, even with the cut in the back. So you'll see in a second. Here we go. Okay, so you see that's how you put the cowl on. And the baby powder, which you put in there, makes it go on a little bit better. It's still pretty tight though, but it's not, once you have it on for a while, it's not really uncomfortably tight.
Am I putting it under your t-shirt? I'm not.
Yeah, under the t-shirt.
Under the t-shirt?
Yeah, it don't want to stick out. So there you go, Jason cowl. As you can see, you can turn around, get backward.
Yeah.
So you can see it behind. It looks weird without the mask on, obviously. And it kind of makes it hard to turn your head. So you can, when you turn, you kind of have to move your body, but you can turn it a little bit, but not too much. You also, it helps to have somebody help you put the mask on as well. So there you go. So all you gotta do is slip the mask on, and now you're Jason. Jason that talks. So there you go. Cosplay completed.
you go. Hope you enjoyed that. Please subscribe to my site so I know how much you actually did enjoy that. If you have any cosplay pictures of your own, make sure you visit my Facebook page, which I'll put a link to below. And always, ghoulies and ghoulettes, make sure you stay spooky.
This is an important part of any photo shoot. Yeah.
Spiderweb.
Yeah.
That's how you get rid of spiderweb. Use a machete.
Seems like it's working. Don't stop now.